I consume, if I don't have food to eat, I feel that I'm gonna die. That's the situation. Because that is what I feel feeds me. That is what I know feeds me and makes me become, huge, or whichever state my size, decides to change to become. If I become very huge or small, all comes to what I take in my intake. But if we have learned that there is spirit, which I have learned, but I don't go into it because something that I cannot prove to you physically, show it to you like I show you my glasses, I won't go too much into it. That's me. That's how honest I like to be. So you may see me just like that, listening, but I have had a very serious spiritual experience. Now others will use that and connive and become dubious to let people, give people high expectations. They can do something and they always devise means and keep doing whatever they do. Now I don't go there. I will not go there because I'm not going to fall into these very things that I'm against. I am a seeker of truth. I am a seeker for understanding. And that is what matters to me. If I believe there is a God, I seek for God. I seek to understand. I may never be able to find God because I also believe deep down my heart that it is God who is supposed to find me. Because if He created me, He can find me. If I'm lost, He can find me. I can find Him. But let's put that aside. That is my view. If I read the book tells you that, gives you that privilege, saying that search for God and you will find Him. It gives you that order. But I know inside my head that word that tells us in the Bible or in the Quran that seek God and find Him, maybe there is a different interpretation. I know it's not here nor there. It's not something that can be practically acceptable, or something that can be done practically. You can't just go, so how are you going to seek for God? Something you can see or know or have no path to follow. So that it tells you that then you can follow the book and the words in the book as the path that you have to follow. But also the book also tells you not to fall for the letter before you get trapped. It also advises you, because even if you follow the Spirit and the Spirit come upon you and the Spirit is leading you, you don't have any guide, because you can also be advised to study the book, the words of God, so you can blend it with the spiritual inspiration that comes along. Yet you also have been told that the book hasn't got accuracy to lead you to God. It is the Spirit that will lead you to Him. Now, what Spirit will lead you to Him? You wouldn't know. The book also advises you that there are deceptive spirits, but you don't know what spirits look like. He says by the signs you will know. So that's all you have to look out for. What signs? Some of the signs you will get from the same book that you are not supposed to put your entire trust in. So there you are again. You end up in a situation where your life is messed with confusion. You don't know, you are not sure. Most of the religious people, you can see them, they are just waiting to see something strange to happen in their life, because most people are learned, they get confused, but it's hard to admit it. So okay, it becomes a fun game now. Let's confuse the other people too, because I'm not getting answers. It's not so easily there for you to just fall for it. But if only a few of them do admit, if only you come and admit the thing out, then you are doing some good rather than evil. You're not encouraging evil. But the majority are encouraging it, because there is so much benefit. If you're able to set people in confusion, you benefit a lot. If you're a ruler and you're able to set people in a situation where they don't know where to go, they depend entirely on you, because you can see clearly their movement. You have the upper hand of knowing anything that you are sitting there and you are seeing the chess that is right there. You know the movement of whatever the piece or whatever piece you have to move to where or where, and that. That is the nature of what the Bible does. It says, I set confusion on people in Genesis, as we read, and that confusion, what was the reason? To keep them blind from anything, so we can still have control over them. This was the idea of what Jehovah, according to the Bible. Whether it's true on the part of Jehovah, I don't know. But the thing is, if I disprove this as not being coming straight from God, in so many ways, I have made the true God. I have stood on the side of a true God who has refused to defend himself. Now, it's not my place to defend God in any way. But I'm doing it on my own interest to discover whether this is true or not, for my own interest. Because I, being a lost person, if I am, just to say, inverted commas, if I am lost, actually lost, it's just my desire to know who my real paternal parents may be, or what real my bloodline is, or what my creator is, who my God is. I just have that instinct inside me. You know, it's an instinctive, it's just an intuition, something that is inside me that I want to fall for or follow through. And it happens to most people. Some people ignore it, some people follow through with it. And I've not yet seen who discovers it, but I've seen a lot of news and a lot of noise saying that they discover it. Other people say we found it, and this envy, many people draw them into the side, or into following them who claim they have found something, and they get caught up into some sort of chain of net or web, and that web, they find them there, they can't get out, and they can't find answers, and it's like, you can go forward, you can go back, you're locked in there. And forever in your life, you'll be doomed in that situation. If you don't have the strength to get out, you'll be doomed for good. And mostly it's done through witchery. Now, I use the word witchery. If you find the meaning of it, you see why I'm using the word witchery. Not necessarily the witch side, but in a beautified approach of things. Look good, present yourself well. Something that will attract people, the magical way of doing things, how magic is done. And it attracts people, it draws people in. People's souls are caught by it. And when they get caught into that situation, they are bound. They are bound to it. They sort of do everything to make sure that it really generates something for them. It will not generate anything. They have some temporal feeling, they have some temporal experiences, but it will not necessarily generate the answer or the ultimate answer that they look out for. I've been there. I've experienced it. Somebody says you haven't been there long. Somebody says I've been there 60 years and I found that. I've been there 70 years and I found that. I've been there 80 years. Are you going to tell me this for me to stay there how long? If you found it, show it to me. Where's your evidence? Could you show it to me that here it is? Oh, no, it's a spiritual thing. It's something that you personally have to know. Take that kind of joke to somewhere else. Not mine. It won't fit in my coffers. No way. Life is a very serious thing. It has to be taken seriously. It has to be embraced well. I have nothing to lose to discover the truth. I have a lot to lose to spend the rest of my life in doom, in darkness, and in no sense of logic. What would I gain? Those who have devoted themselves to sensible things and logic, they may be in the religious set, they may be whatever, but deep down their heart, they do the logical things in life. You see the great things they have invented. They are not like me, who got caught up so deep into it that I didn't devote myself to all the crafty things that I could do. I could have been a very good artist. I could have been a very good accountant. I could have been a very good biologist, because I knew my potential. I saw it right there. True, I could just see it. But there I was, knowing also that I can be a very good religious person. I could be very good in BK, it's the Bible studies, and I didn't know it was spiritually catching up with me. And that was much more what was getting me. And I personally, even though whether there isn't any sponsorship, I was just personally getting myself grip into it. And I was being moved spiritually without knowing. And I was having my, the experiences that I have to have. And it ended up, 8 years ago, made it even worse and serious. When I got into I decided to move out of Lighthouse Chapel and enter into Baptist Church in Palace Street. Then it became worse. When it happened, when I went through those experiences, this voice, speech, and all that, and experience, words of the spiritual words, words that come, not a tongue speaking thing, English speaking words. Let God be God. It was English. It was spoken English for me to hear. Now there are the people there maybe who are in other language who can speak English, and maybe they heard it in their own language. That is always my suspicion.